So the other day I stumbled across this list online and I was shocked. I was surprised with what I saw. So I found a list online on this article. Basically, it was ranking all the countries in the world by their screen time. So screen time is like how much time you use on your phone every day, right? So it was ranking the countries in terms of how much time on average the people in the country used their phone in a day. And I was shocked to see that my home country, one of my home countries, Indonesia, was number 3 on the list. Out of the, 150, 200 countries in the world, my country, Indonesia, was number 3. And I was shocked to see that. One of the reasons I was shocked was because it was like 8 hours or something. Like, that's a crazy number. But one of the reasons I was shocked is because Indonesia is a third world country, right? So you wouldn't expect a third world country to have such a high screen time. Like, you'd expect the countries with the highest screen time to be like the United States, like these really developed countries that are really in touch with technology. So I think what this shows is that technology does not necessarily equal a more developed country. Like, I think technology is like a double-edged sword, right? On one hand, it can make you a slave. You can get pulled into technology, right? It can take away all your attention, all your time, destroy your mental health. Like, social media will destroy your mental health. Dating apps will destroy your mental health. But it can also change your life. You can start $1 million business with a device in your pocket. You can meet your soulmate. You can learn languages. Like, most of the studying I did in high school and in university, I mean, not most, but a lot of the studying I did on my phone. And I actually did like lying down in bed. You know that cursed position that people talk about where you're like lying down in bed scrolling on your phone? That's how I did so much of my learning throughout my schooling career. So I think the phone can be a super powerful tool. Like, we live in the technological revolution where your phone can literally change your life, but it can also destroy your life. Like, I see that in Indonesia. Like, when I go back, everyone's controlled by their phones. Like, you go to the malls, right? And people are walking around really slowly because they're all like glued to their phone, like scrolling and stuff. Like, you go to a dinner and it's completely normal for everyone to like be on their phone while they talk to each other. So I guess, like, this is just my theory, but less developed countries are more victims to these phones because the phones are like, basically phones are so addicting because the companies design them to be like that. Like, the social media companies and the phone companies want you to stay on their phones as long as possible because that's how they'll get more ads to you and that's how they make more money. So these apps on your phone are literally designed to be as addicting as possible. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to like break a little bit free from the chains of your phone, and not be like as controlled and use it in a more productive way to change your life. Because I strongly believe in living this life of more like, it's a term I heard about called digital minimalism, where basically you use your phone in more of a minimalist way. You use it like a tool rather than like as this thing that controls you, right? So you use it as a tool to improve your life. So I'm going to share with you in this video some tips, some hacks I've learned over the years to be less controlled by my phone. Because that's the thing, these companies, they're so strong, man. Like, you can't fight against them. Like, everyone thinks they have control over their phones, but they really don't. These companies, billion-dollar companies, literally their job is to control you. Their job is to keep you on the app as long as possible. Every single pixel on the Instagram app, every single like color and logo has been tested meticulously to keep you as attached as possible to the device. So if you think that you're strong and you can overcome these companies, you're completely wrong. It's very difficult to have control over these companies. That's why we all go into robot mode. Like, I'll sit down on my couch and I'll automatically pull out my phone and start scrolling. These companies literally have us by the balls. They're literally controlling us. So hopefully these tips will help you like gain a bit more control back from your phone. So the solution, like I said, is digital minimalism. I heard this from Cal Newport. You want to use your phone consciously rather than unconsciously. You want to be in control of it. You want to use it like a tool. You want to use it like a craftsman uses his tools. Okay, so the first tip I'll tell you, to not be controlled by your phone. This one, I don't see many people doing this, but this is such a big one for me. Turn off your notifications. Turn them off. Like, have 0 notifications on your home screen. 0. Like, you can keep a couple of them on. Like, if you've got a close friend or someone who you need to talk to for your business or your friend, sure, keep their notifications on. But you don't want random notifications from like YouTube Studio, Instagram, random people messaging you. You don't want them to be able to notify you because you're basically saying like, hey, I don't care about my time. I don't mind if I get pulled around by random things. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Turn off your notifications. Turn them off because you're basically allowing things to come into your field of view. What you want to do is you want to be focused in the world. You want to stick on your mission, do what you need to do in the world. But when notifications come flying in, it's like you're in a video game and you're allowing like ads to appear in front of your face. Like, it doesn't help you at all. That's being controlled by your phone. What you want to do is you only want to see the notifications when you consciously go onto your phone and open up like the WhatsApp app or the Messenger app. So you literally want to turn off those notifications. And you might think like, oh bro, what if there's an emergency? What if someone's contacting me and someone's dying? Like, what's gonna happen? Well, if you're honest to yourself, you'll realize that this almost never happens. For me, I have not had an emergency in like a decade, right? So yeah, keep specific people, keep their notifications on, sure. Keep the calls from those people on. But for everyone else, for every other app, turn that stuff off, bro. Because when you have it on, you're basically letting your phone control you and pull your focus to different things throughout the day. So that's the first obvious thing I'll tell you. The second thing is how to approach your technology usage like a craftsman. How to approach it like how to use your phone as a tool. So here's what you want to do. Basically, people will jump onto any social media or any app that they feel there is a benefit to, right? Like you ask people like, hey, why do you use Facebook? And they'll be like, oh man, because I can keep in contact with people. Like they justify their usage for an app with any reason they can find. Here's the problem with this mindset. That's called the any benefit mindset. If you can find any benefit to something, that justifies you using it. But the problem with that mindset, it's like saying like, it's like you go to your friend's house and you're like, hey man, why do you have a cruise ship in your backyard? And they're like, yeah man, I have a cruise ship in my backyard because it protects me from the rain if it rains. Like the reason they have a massive boat in their backyard, this is a dumb example, but the reason they have a boat in their backyard is because it has a benefit, any benefit, which is it protects them from the rain. But in this case, the downsides of having a boat in your backyard clearly outweigh the positives, right? So this is how we should approach social media usage. Like, yes, Instagram has benefits. Okay, yes, TikTok has benefits. You know, it might teach you some stuff every now and then. You know, it might give you some advice. But the negatives are so big, like it destroys your attention, it takes all your time, that it's not worth using TikTok. That's just an example. But so you need to do this audit with every single social media, every single app you use in your life. You wanted to have a different mindset. I learned this from the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. You want to have the mindset of, yeah, basically weighing the pros and the cons rather than having the any benefit mindset. People these days will jump onto any new trending social media, right? Like recently there was this social media called Be Real. If you don't know what Be Real is, basically at a random time in the day, the app will send you a notification and you have to send a photo of whatever you're doing at the moment. Everyone got into this trend. And when I saw this new social media, I did an any benefit analysis of the app. I was like, okay, what are the positives? The positives are it might keep me a bit more connected with some people that I don't really care about. But the negatives are I'm going to be thinking about it all day. You know, it's going to pull my attention away at a random time in the day. That could be a time when I'm working. That could be a time when I'm like in the gym or something. Do I really want that for a tiny benefit? Not really. So I deleted that app. But I think it's more like you have to do this any benefit analysis to your social medias. Because YouTube's a social media, right? But I still use it because I'm creating on it. I'm like producing content. I'm giving value to people. I use it to learn. You know, I watch long form podcasts. I watch videos on YouTube. I learn. To get advice from it. So it does have some downsides, but the positives far outweigh the downsides. So I might use Instagram more in the future if I want to use it for like my business or I want to use it to like make money or something, right? So you need to do this analysis with every single app, like as a craftsman, as a tool, using it as a tool rather than being controlled by it. And the next way to be less controlled is basically there's this thing that happens when you're on your phone. I'll call it robot mode. So basically, like for me, whenever I'm in my house and I sit down, just sit down like on my couch or whatever, my first automatic reaction is like a robot to pull out my phone and to start scrolling on like Instagram or something like that, right? The problem with this is like, again, you're being controlled, you're a slave to your phone. So the next tip I can give you is try to overcome this robot mode. This robot mode happens only in specific scenarios, right? Like for example, you're not going to be, you know, playing a game of soccer and suddenly pull out your phone, right? Find those circumstances where it happens. And here's what you want to do. You want to replace that habit you have, that robot mode habit you have with something else. So for me, whenever I would realize that I was going on my phone to like scroll through short form content or like go to random social medias, I would automatically go to YouTube and start watching like longer form videos, right? Like podcasts or longer form episodes and stuff. You know, you could argue that that's also a waste of time, but that's an improvement to going onto these short form contents and like tanking your attention span, tanking your time. So basically what you're doing is you're replacing one bad habit with a slightly better automatic habit, right? Or a lot better automatic habit. Because in the past, when people would sit on the couch, they would just start thinking. and then they would think of something to do and they would get up and do it. So what we're doing now is we're replacing that. We're replacing the automatic impulse, go into Instagram or something. You're replacing it with some kind of like automatic attack, like watching long form content. So find that automatic attack for you. Make sure it's something easy, something simple, and start replacing your robot mode times with that stuff. You know, it's going to take a long time to fully replace it, but that's what you want to do. Another example is when I was in line, I used to always pull out my phone, and I made it a habit when I was in line to just literally just be present, just to like look around and observe what was going on. That was my base. That was my automatic attack when I would be in line. So find the automatic attack for you and use it to replace these robot mode periods in your life. So those are a couple tips that I gave you. Like, technology is amazing. The phone's amazing. I literally wrote this script on this phone. I'm literally filming this on my phone. Technology is amazing, right? But it's all about getting our control back from these companies which are trying to control us. Their job is to control us. So we want to get our control back and use these phones for good rather than to be controlled and lose our lives. Like, I want to live this lifestyle where I'm simply using my phone as a tool and I'm like experiencing life in the real world. You know what I mean? And not spending all my day on these apps, because I've probably spent thousands of hours in my life on Instagram, on like social medias, and I barely remember that time. So yeah, I hope this video helped you gain a bit of control back from your phone, bit of control back. See you later, homie.